Well, the community was looking to create an event or something that would be an attraction to make Goffstown a destination. And of course, I was a giant pumpkin grower.
I'm originally from Lowell, Massachusetts, moved to Goffstown in about year 2000. My wife joined the Main Street group, and I think she knew that I had always wanted to drive the pumpkin boat. I love this weekend. I think it's just something that's uniquely Goffstown, and it's part of what drew us to this town. Is just giant pumpkins are just one of the quirky things about the town that makes it special. And they took the key, yeah, I'm feeling all right. And I feel like myself. Feeling all right. And I feel like myself. My name's Jim Boschman, and I lived in Goffstown all my life. I'm actually the chairman of the event for the Pumpkin Regatta weekend, and I've been doing it for 16 years now. I've been growing giant pumpkins for close to 20 years now. I was a New England champion 2005. So yeah, I enjoy growing the giant pumpkins myself, and I participate in all the local weigh-offs. The New Hampshire Giant Pumpkin Growers actually has about 75 to 80 members, paying members, and we were looking for a site to have a weigh-off. Our town fathers agreed it was a great idea, and I worked with the Main Street program, and so we went with the weigh-off on a Saturday and the pumpkin regatta the next day, and we started out with 5 boats, pumpkin boats that year, and we've grown since then. The pumpkin growers love it. You know, that gives them one final use for their boats, because they spent all summer growing these pumpkins, and we would typically have them in the compost pile at this point. But now these guys get to see their pumpkins out there competing, you know, for the coveted trophy, and it's exciting that all the pumpkin growers are here today watching their pumpkins race down the river.
My daughter, who was like 10 or 11 at the time, we decided to start growing giant pumpkins. I had good soil, 1,500 square feet. You can grow 2 pumpkins in 1,500 square feet. My goal is 1,500 pounds. That was my goal this year, and I came up short. My previously big one was 1,278 pounds.
And this is my first year actually having my own pumpkin. And it came in at 985 pounds in Deerfield. I placed 9th place. I was trying for 1,000. I came 15 short. And so we brought it here today, and it's going into the regatta race tomorrow, which I'll be captain of my boat.
We're not farmers. We are backyard growers. Some guys live in condos. They have a little garden in the backyard, and they grow one plant. And your winner chicken dinner for 2016, 1,537 pounds, John Gerges, our president of the New Hampshire Giant Pumpkin Growers Association. Why don't you come up and shake his hand?
My wife knew that I had always wanted to drive the pumpkin boat, and so I guess they had openings, and so we sponsored one, and we had to pick a community organization to put on it, so we picked Mary Lou because both our kids went there. All right, so we set up on Mill Street to kind of rope it off. What we have to do is scoop the pumpkins out. The growers of the pumpkins are there, and they want their seeds because they want to plant more giant pumpkins. So we got to scoop all the seeds, make sure every last one is in the hands of the grower, and then we start kind of scooping out the inside so all the stringiness is gone, which there actually isn't that much in the giant pumpkins. Then we start figuring out how to attach all our stuff, and we'll spray paint the pumpkin.
the whole organization is doing a superhero theme. So we kind of thought that it would be cool if the pumpkin was a giant ant and Ant-Man riding it.
It's gonna be the ant. This is the head we have, and we have all 6 legs.
Which shade of black do you want?
This one.
Okay. Well, actually, red from the bottom, I think, and black from the top, meet in the middle. Look fast. All right.
And you want to
Open yellow tip. So green. Oh! It's a party! Oh man, that was cheese spread.
Oh, dang it!
You know what we should do? Is we should have the Mary Lou hands spray painted. We should make that logo. Well, that's not very contrasty. Can you put the drill down? We don't need it right now. Nope. Just quick motion, quick motion. Ah! Okay. No, 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 no. Correct our mistake. What's that? I think it looks great. I don't know if I can paddle it. I have a kayak paddle, but Jeff says he's got a canoe paddle I could try. We'll see. If I can't reach the water, I'm not going to go very far. I would just float, I guess.
Bruce Troll with Goffstown Main Street program. Working on this for 3 years now, loading pumpkins in the water. We had the pumpkins come down from where they were decorated, loaded them down with a forklift, brought them into the water, had the captains come in, test drive them, make sure they felt comfortable, balanced.
We just did the trial run of the pumpkin. It's going to be tricky because those big legs are in the way of the paddle, but at least the paddle reaches the water. And it turns really well because it's round. I don't think it's a fast boat. We'll see. There's a competition this year for the best decorated.
They call it the Jim Boschman Award, and that's for the most creative pumpkin boat. And they've left it up to me to pick the most creative and follows the theme of the event.
I feel like I could be in the running for that.
If you like Mary Lou Preschool, let's hear it for the YMCA is Y. Goffstown Fire Department has PD on the boat. Mountain Municipal is blue and black. Montessori School is the Word Girl. Town Hall, Underdog.
I had a lot of trouble getting going and finished dead last. So it is what it is. That was a really heavy pumpkin and the ant legs didn't really help the situation. But I had fun. I was style over substance here, I think.
I did it, and I wanted to do it for the New England growers because Jim worked so hard on this, and it was our first time entering a pumpkin, and so So I just had to come through for them, all of them. So I'm so psyched.
We had some villains come down in kayaks. Well, everyone just kind of squirts each other, but it's a lot of fun. You know, I look back in previous years of this sort of competition, and people had some pretty elaborate boats, and I was trying to keep that going.
The Ant-Man, you know, from Mary Lou Daycare Center. That was most creative, fit right into the theme of things, and well-deserved. They worked hard on that, and that's what it's all about. It's no more than just putting some paint on a pumpkin and getting in it. They created some real nice stuff, and that's what I like. The pumpkin growers, that's the first year we entered a boat in the race, and I never thought we'd win, you know. Hey, you couldn't ask for a better turnout. The weather was perfect, the crowd was pleased, everybody, everything went well, and it's a thumbs up to all the organizers.
Plans for next year? I don't have plans yet. I'm gonna relax tonight, feeling the burn in my arms from paddling and not getting anywhere.
Next for me tonight is we're gonna do some cleanup. We're gonna clean up, and we're gonna look for some other volunteers to help clean up. A lot of chuckling going on over there. About the pumpkin drop. The pumpkin drop, I started that. That was something I came up with 7 years ago. Just one more use of the giant pumpkins. Create a splash.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, no, hey, we take our time now. It's over. Might slide a pumpkin ale in a little bit, you know, at the local tavern, but yeah, that's what it's all about.
Very good then. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming.
Of course.